What is going on, everybody? We are here. We have made it to the Great American Bash, held here at the Bright
Great
House
American
Network
Bash.
Stadium. 39,000 people. Starting off, we got our pre-show. We got a couple pre-show matches for you guys. About what, four, Chris? You'd say. So,
Yeah, we got some.
starting
We got
off,
we, we got a little bit of a pre-show. Little. Everything needs like a little.
little
You need a little
spazz, little
appetizer. Just a little
pizzazz,
appetizer.
a little spark. A little appetizer. We got Max and Stella Cruz taking on Akira Tozawa, getting the greetings from Camwood Park, able to come back strong after losing to the Great Muta over in Japan. Then we got Kuso Wasuru making their debut team tonight of Yosuke Santa Maria and Marco Stunt, defeating Maria Manic and Milo Toxic after Yosuke Santa Maria pins Maria Manic after hitting that sky high. Pretty good there. Then we go into some Nitro matches here with Chris Bay defeating Pepper Park with the Triple C. What does the Triple C stand for, you think? Chlorine,
I don't know, but
cholesterol,
I
carbon,
mean, I could
fiber?
I could definitely tell you what things it could stand for, but they might not be able to make it on the air.
That's true. This was a really good match. Got an 87. Your
Dude,
boy Chris Bay
I
killing it.
like Chris Bay with a 91 in ring.
I know. Trey Miguel, Desmond Xavier able to defeat the Deaners here tonight with Trey Miguel pinning Cody Deaner with the Yoshi Tonic. What the heck is that? I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. After that, we kicking off the show here. We got my boys on Thunder, Jim Cornette and Johnny Ace, going against your guy, Eric and Bischoff. They're all seen yelling at each other inside a shared little managerial room. They all have to share this room tonight. They're all ticked. Tensions are high. Jim Cornette's screaming. Eric Bischoff is like, how could you? You're out there on Thursday night. You promoted a prison match for the prisoners, the criminals of society. Jim Cornette's like, I was trying to reform them because it is a statistic. In 1932, they had a wrestling match inside of a prison. It lowered prisoners' reform, wanting them to commit crime. There was less crime the next following year because of this wrestling match. And Johnny Ace is like, you're full of crap, Jim. This never happened ever. Eric said this was a horrible idea. You got some of our wrestlers injured in that brawl that ensued. There had to be police there. And now you're wanting us to promote a prison bitch brawl, Jim. What is wrong with you? He's like, look, I've already cleared it with the pay-per-view provider. It's going to be televised live from the prison, and we've amped up security. Trust me, nothing wrong will happen. But kicking off the first match of the night is a pretty big one when the Great Muta takes on EC3. EC3's been talking a bunch of big smack, big game here, but it all comes crashing down when the Great Muta is able to get the win and get the WCW World title. I don't even think, has he ever won the world title in his entire career?
Not the WCW World Title. Has he? Did he? I don't know about the IWGP.
Well, yeah, I imagine stuff like that, but the WCW one I wouldn't know much of in
WCW,
particular.
I do not believe so. I'm gonna put a big no on that.
But hits him big with the moonsault here, winning the world championship. But it's what happens after the match here as he's looking down in disappointment. He's got some blood running down his face after just a brutal match against the Great Muta. And that's when the Chris brothers come down there to consult him. And Ethan's like pushing them away. Max and Stella Cruz starts to come over there and he gets to the mic. He says, I don't want you here at all. He says, you don't deserve to be here. Maxon says, well, Ethan. He gets to the mic too and says, Ethan, I'm not here for you. It's very clear you've made it very, very assertive of the people that you want in the front line. But have you ever thought about the people that we want in the front line and the person we want, what type of characteristics we want for a leader? And after this showing against Great Muta, I think we've made it pretty clear what we want. And that's when Dave and Jake Christ say it's Ohio versus everyone. And they clobber EC3, hitting them with some big elbows, back and forth. Max and Taylor Cruz gets into the ring. They all start stomping on him. And that's when Austin Aries comes running down to the ramp with a steel chair, waving it back between all the men. And then he looks at them as they've all scattered the ring, and he smiles. And he looks at EC3, who's down on the ground, still bleeding. As he puts out his hand, thinking that Austin Aries is going to forgive him for what he's done in the past. And Aries takes the steel chair and hits him right in the head with it. And as he's sitting there looking at the bloody chair, he tosses it to the side and just smiles alongside the front line.
And I like to think that their theme song goes dun 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 front line.
Then we have an Ultimate X match here with Pac winning that WCW World Light Heavyweight Championship.
There we
this
go.
match got a 99. See, I had to start it off. We had to cool it down. I knew Gray knew that we were gonna have a good match, of course.
I told you that match was gonna do that. I told you.
I told these guys to go out there and have the greatest aerial match of all time, and that's exactly what they did. 99. Absolutely obliterated it here.
Light heavyweight champion. Don't overlook that. Pac is your.
Don't overlook that an NWO member just won the World Light Heavyweight Championship.
And he ended the reign of Jordan Oliver, who had been tearing up the division.
I know. It's just, what's going to happen next? It's just, I mean, that's very applaud-worthy right there for that match. After that, we have Vampiro out there in the ring with Darby Allin, just Darby. He says he's got some weird funky outfit on for some reason. You know how he is. You know, Ian Hodgkinson, or isn't that his name?
Ian Hodgkinson.
Yeah, I can barely say his last name. He's out there. He's doing some wicked dances or something. He's got his face paint on too. He says, "NetherRealm, tonight, you know what's coming for you. The brothers in paint, specifically these two good brothers right here, Darby and I, we're gonna bring it to you. NetherRealm, you've been harassing me since the beginning, but I think it's time we lay this to rest, and we put those two old spirits down so some new spirits can rise up. You may think I'm old and decrepit, but I'm just getting started once again." After that, we have Papi and Mommy retaining those WCW Mixed Tag Team titles here. Alberto, 91 performance, pretty good there. Really relying on him there to carry that match here, as Kyle Fletcher, of course, needed just a little bit more experience. But, of course, Angel Rose, I don't know too much about her. I know she was Diamante, yeah. So I thought she was good in the ring during their time. But, you know, always could do some improvement there. But pretty good for him in retaining that. Next up, what's going on here with the David Arquette Talent Agency?
Okay,
some friends.
So the camera cuts to up in the sky boxes of the stadium, up in the luxury boxes. You got Al Jones and Zeta Zeng and David Arquette are walking in. Vincent tries to join them when all of a sudden Homicide and Sean Hernandez step in front of him and say, "I don't believe your name's on the list." And he's like, what do you mean? I'm with them. He's like, Al looks over and says, "Uncle Vincent, it's nothing against you. I just have to upgrade my security. I'm a high profile guy now, and your services are no longer needed." And see.
Oh, what a sad betrayal for his uncle.
By the way, in that last segment, David Arquette invented a new catchphrase. I like to think he said, "Well, that's what happens when you deal with someone from Hollywood."
Hollywood.
Okay, and a superb match. We got War Beast here, defeats Rulebook, when Jacob Fatu pinned Matt Marquis. During the match, we also saw Simon Grimm turn on Matt Marquis. Jacob Fatu carries the match performance. Matt Marquis was the weak link. He struggled to keep up with everybody. Well, you know what? See you later, Matt Marquis.
He broke the rules.
The rules are over as Matt Marquis continues to get beat down by Simon Grimm and Jacob Fatu and Joey Machete. As Eric Bischoff comes out with an NWO shirt, he's dancing around with an NWO shirt, tosses it to Simon Grimm, who throws it on, throws up the Too Sweet. As these three celebrate as they make their way out, as Simon Grimm looks so defeated, or Matt Marquis looks so defeated just laying there on the mat. Next.
It's an end of an era, an end of a friendship there. After that, we have Sammy G here, taking on Jordan Clearwater and Christian Casanova, defending his WWE Paramount Championship. Pretty good showing here for all the men here in this match.
Casanova got a 90.
I know. Pretty good.
In a superb match, FTR defeated America's Most Wanted in a 2 out of 3 falls match. by 2 straight falls. They just completely took them out.
I know, just didn't even give him a chance.
With the final fall happening when Cash Wheeler pinned Chris Harris after the Shatter Machine. This is defense number 3 of their titles. Chris Harris was the weak link. Damn you, Chris Harris, for ruining that rating. It could have been
Chris
higher.
Harris. How could he? After that, we see Jim Cornette and Johnny Ace here, still arguing within their shared managerial room. Eric Bischoff walked out to go have a Waz or whatnot. That's a P, by the way. And then we see that we cut to the simulcast, the dualcast, the multicast, whatever you want to call it, the prison cast from the Parkside Prison, where Buff Bagwell and Brian Pillman Jr. are both seen in both of their cells, taping up for the one and the only Prison Bitch Brawl. And Johnny Ace says he still does not approve of this, and Jim Cornette says, look, it is fully sanctioned by our own referees, and that nothing wrong will happen. Then we have Tenille Dashwood retaining her WCW Women's title, making work of Piper with that roaring elbow as usual. Pretty good match here with those women. And change that gimmick there for... See, I think it did a thing. I think it did a thing. So, what's going on with the Bagul?
In a good match, Bagul defeats Mike Bennett and Raven in the Monsters Ball match. When Bagul pinned Mike Bennett with a Chelsea smile.
Oh.
Also during the match, Rosemary ran in and she attacked Mike Bennett.
Who's Chelsea?
I don't know. And then after the match, obviously, Raven is looking at Rosemary. Mike Bennett was blindsided by the Chelsea smile, but he's still looking up confused. As Rosemary stands side by side with Bagul, Raven puts his hands out to Rosemary. Is just met with the mist. As Rosemary has officially aligned herself with Bagul.
Dang. After that, we see Vampiro and Darby Allin here, able to get the best of the NetherRealm, actually, with Darby Allin pinning Vinny Marseglia after hitting a big old coffin drop. Pretty proud of that match there, Darby. After that, we see Joe Exotic in his prison. This time he has a visitor. He's in his prison cell. Marty Scurll comes up to him. He says, Joe. He says, well, I've talked to a Mr. Jim Cornette, and someone's decided to pay your bail. Someone very high up. And well, not only that, we're looking to give you a contract and make Thursday nights your home. So Joe, let me tell you this. Are you? And he just, before he can even say it, he's like, wait, I get to be on television? He's like, I'm all in. I'm all in, Marty. Just say the word. Get me out of here. He's like, okay. He said, just wait by the end of the night. You'll have your opportunity. And I don't think they'll worry about where that money came from.
And we got our exceptional match between Alexander Hammerstone and Rob Van Dam. In 12:52, you had the Stonebreaker take down another person as Alexander Hammerstone makes defense number 3 of his North American Championship. 77 overall, 68 from RVD, 91 from Hammerstone. I don't think RVD's on drugs for this match, so that's good. Because that's a lot higher than...
Yeah, not bad. After that, we have the Prison Bitch Brawl, where Brian Pillman Jr. able to defeat Buff Bagwell here in the fight, hitting the Tornado DDT, knocking him down on his butt. But it's what happens after the match, when Brian Pillman Jr. and Buff Bagwell are looking at each other, and they both smile. And an utter brawl starts to ensue within the prison once again. The prisoners, all the cell doors open up, and they're starting to fight. Bruno Milani, Warren Barksdale out there trying to make sure that Brian Pillman and Buff Bagwell don't go anywhere. And Joey Hollywood getting over the intercom, yelling at people to get back in their cells. But that's when the intercom goes silent as we cut and see Marty Scurll attacking Joey Hollywood and the Cyberhawk Initiative, or Cyberhawk Unlimited, whatever you want to call them, start attacking the Buff Bagwell control unit. And that's when Buff Bagwell and Brian Pillman start to sneak out and escape the prison.
Wow.
Big main event.
And in our main event we got an exceptional match. Davey Boy Smith Jr. defeats Eddie Edwards in a cage match when Davey Boy Smith escapes the cage. Davey Boy wins the WCW Universal Heavyweight Champion. We have a new champion.
New main champions all around the board here tonight.
Oh, the whole NWO, the NWO's music hits. The entire NWO makes their way out to the ring. They're all celebrating. They got the champagne. It's an all NWO. We got all kinds of wins from the NWO tonight. We had War Beast get the win. We had Hammerstone get the win. Pac got a win. And of course, Davey Boy Smith took home the main event. 85 segment to close the show. What a pay-per-view.
Loving it, loving it. Finish off the show. We got a 84. Pretty good here, plus the 29 regions. I think it's only fair that we give it to the Triple Threat guys. They absolutely slaughtered it here. So we got to give it to Pac, Humberto, and Jordan Oliver. Absolutely murked it there with that 99 rating. But that's going to wrap it up here for the Great American Bash, and we will see you guys at the Fallout. What's going to happen to this pay-per-view as we go on the road to Sin, the Chamber show, seeing who's going to qualify for the Chambers, as what Chamber matches we will have for you guys. Other than that, keep it safe as always, and peace out.